Hey, it's Les from the TV Dudes. This week, I was lucky enough to chat with actor Adwin Brown. You might know him as Mark from Adam Ruins Everything, or maybe you saw him on the recent Heathers reboot, where he played Seth. But we're here to talk about his role in Season 2 of the Netflix series You, where he plays Calvin, manager of an affluent grocery store, who viewers of Season 1 will know is probably in for a wild ride. We talk about his comedy background, separating what his character knows from what he knows about the show, and much more. It's a great chat, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, Adwin.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you so much for making time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I really enjoyed You Season 1. It's vicious and uncomfortable and just was really wild. I got to speak with Sarah Gamble and Carolyn Kepnes, I guess about a year ago. I think it was still on Lifetime at the time, about walking that tension and this central character it's like Dexter. I mean, it's worse than Dexter.
Yeah, you feel like you're rooting for the bad guy a little bit.
Yeah, or at least you're following him around an uncomfortable amount.
Yes, exactly.
So I was excited to get to talk to you because I would think that more than a lot of acting jobs, this one would require you to really be mindful of what your character knows in the scene versus, what you know about
the overall story.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about going into the audition and wanting to play it right, getting the role and wanting to make sure that you paced it right?
Yeah, absolutely. When I got the audition, they were looking for girls and guys, so they were casting like a really big net. And the only thing they were really specific about was they were looking for someone who did comedy. So they were looking like someone who did Groundlings for a bit or UCB for a bit. And I went in and I did it, the way that I planned, and they seemed to be really into it. But there were also a lot of social influencers in the lobby with me, so I didn't know what direction they were going in because I have a very humble 2,500. So you know what I mean. So if that's what they wanted, that's not what I could give. But I ended up getting a call back, and Sarah was in the room, David Rappaport, the casting director. It was a huge group. And I did it the way it was written, and then they asked me to do it again, but to not say anything on the page, to just kind of play with it and improv a bit. And I think that's kind of what maybe won them over a little. And yeah, I ended up booking it. My character is very, very fun. You know what I mean? It's juxtaposition against what the dark elements of the show, which makes it really fun because my character has no idea about that stuff. So in all my scenes with Penn, it's all very great. I think he's a great guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I found myself sitting across the table from him going, damn, you're charming. But I just watched you being really, really evil.
Yeah, exactly. There's none of that from me. So that's a fun thing to play with. I truly just think he is a fantastic guy. So,
going into acting originally, I mean, you've done Heathers as Seth. You've been on the Fosters. Did you ever? What was the spark that first kind of made you push past the hey, this is fun in theater class, but I'm really going to go for it. I'm going to do this.
I think it was, I just never I could never stop, really. I always found myself going back to wanting to be involved in some kind of play or some kind of production. It kind of just always followed me, and I always enjoyed it, so I figured, why would I try to fight it? It all just seemed to happen really naturally.
You talked about having comedy background, and I know sometimes it can be odd to move from that, you being funny in your friend group to realizing that there's beats and rules, and so, or I mean, not rules, but things you can learn to do in improv classes and play better off each other. Was there kind of a first moment where you went, oh, wow, I left here this afternoon better at landing a joke than when I went in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the acting classes I've taken out here, I mean, the first one that comes to mind is John Rosenfeld, who's an actor out here in LA. He specifically kind of deals with comedy. And it's like exactly like you said, like you can be the funny friend in your group, you know what I mean? But to actually learn the beats and be able to do it, you know, you're doing takes maybe, I don't know, 5 to 8 times and being able to nail it every time. I mean, it's definitely like kind of like an art form, you know? So I think taking class and seeing other actors being able to just be like, turn it on like that. And it kind of inspired me and made me be like, you know, I think I could do that. I'd like to try at least, you know?
Have you found any kind of things you do for yourself to make sure that you're ready to be able to turn it on set?
Yeah, making sure that I try not to rush into anything. Like I really like to take my time to myself, make sure I know what I'm doing, what's needed of me in the scene that we're doing that day. That really helps. Like taking a moment to yourself before you really have to open up to everyone is really important for me. Because you're not only, you know, obviously you're with your scene partner, but there's so many people watching you. I think it's really great to calm yourself down, get in that mode, and then you can open up and do whatever, you know, is needed of you.
I would think that, and maybe it's just my knowledge of how I think auditions work, but I would think that freedom to just, hey, ignore the page, wing it, I want to see what you think the character is that something that you'd ever gotten to do in an audition room before, or was that pretty rare?
It is pretty rare. It is pretty rare, and understandably so, because you have these people who are paid to write these amazing scripts, so obviously they want you to say the words that they come up with. But as an actor, you know, it is really freeing to have people trust you a little bit and to see what you bring to the table. You know what I mean? I come from a theater background, so I like a collaborative kind of moment. That makes me feel comfortable. So yeah, it is rare, but it's always fun when it happens.
Do you feel like that helped carry forward a bit of trust into doing the show, into how free you felt on set to try yourself out try out things as the character, rather?
Absolutely. I mean, when you have that trust put in you, they're like, okay, what you did is great. It only makes you want to go further. You know what I mean?
Did you have it's a hard show to talk about because I know there's going to be twists and turns and I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, if you like season 1, season 2 is going to be very elevated. Yeah.
Did you have any favorite thing that you can talk about, or kind of favorite growth for your character?
Yeah, for sure. There is one moment where I had to learn a little bit of fight choreography, which is something I've never done before. That was really fun and funny to do. And a lot of the twists and turns are great, involving Penn's character and the way people approach things that are happening to him. So I got a lot of great moments of getting to watch things unfold, which is always great. Like watching characters realize things is always really fun and interesting.
Well, I can't wait to get to watch it, and thank you so much for taking time to talk to me about it today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.